Let's do another money check. Are you out there saying, okay, this is all great. I've got my budget. We've done the things. I'm saving all the things. I just need to make more money. Sometimes that is the case, yes. But often what we find, it's not really the true solution. So today, for today's money check, let's talk about what we're actually doing, if we're doing the things that we need to, and if you need to make more money, or if there's a different solution. It's better for you financially. So let's do this. Welcome back to another episode of the Your Money, Your Life podcast. I'm your host, Aimee Cerka. And I have the hiccups. So I'm going to apologize in advance if I am hiccuping during this episode, but I wanted to do this money check with you. We're talking for Financial Literacy Month. What do you do when you just need to make more money? Okay. Because I think we've all hit that point. I'm doing the things, I've got the budget, I'm saving, I've cut where we can. It's just fill in the blank. It's just gas prices. It's just cost of living. It's just inflation. I just need to make more money. And sometimes that is true. But if you're out there saying, if I can only just make an extra $500, I'd be set, I'd be okay. The problem with that is there's somebody out there who's making the extra $500 that you want to make. So they've hit like that income level. Let's say you're at $60,000 a year that you're making in income. If I could just make $70,000 a year in income, roughly the 500 there, then I'd be set. Well, somebody out there making $70,000 a year is saying, if I could just make $100,000 a year, I'd be set. We'd be okay. The problem is if we don't actually have the right things in place, the right foundations with our finances, when it comes to your money management system, when it comes to our money mindset, and I'm getting ahead of myself, then we're just setting ourselves up to be in a bigger hole financially down the road. Okay. This is why 95% of lottery winners end up bankrupt, or really, we should say, in the same situation they were in, or worse, which would be bankrupt for most, within 5 years. And the reason for that is they didn't have the systems in place to scale. They didn't have the proper money habits. We think that having good money habits is just about having a budget, paying my bills, and I'm doing those things, and I'm tracking my expenses, which isn't budgeting, by the way. Tracking your expenses is a part of your budget, but it is not budgeting. So if we're just doing that one thing, we're not actually doing what we need to. We're not setting ourselves up to scale. We're not approaching this with the attitude of growth and having that healthy relationship with money. We're not playing that well-rounded game. We'll talk about those 4 aspects. We'll go over them real quick, just in case you need that reminder. So when we get the extra money, we're not doing with it what we need to. So then we're still stuck on the same hamster wheel of doing all the work just to feel like it's barely not enough. Now, I know there's a lot going on with inflation, gas prices, etc., all the things, but there are some things that we can do again, like to help with that. And we're going to talk all about that. It's going to be inside Money Masters Inner Circle Academy. So if you are not on the wait list for when the doors to that reopen, or really open, the Academy is a new portion of Money Masters Inner Circle that I'm so excited about. You can go check out the waitlist. I'll include a note in the show notes, include a link in the show notes for you to check it out. But we have to play that well-rounded game with all 4 aspects. So offense, which is making the money, which we talked about, you're doing, we just need more of that. And sometimes that is the case. But often we find that, defensively, with our defense, that's making the most of what we have. This is where your money management system comes in. This is where your budget comes in. This is where your net worth tracking comes in. These things aren't being done in the way that we need to, to grow. And then we add the battlefield in. So our money mindset, our economics, the rules of the game, which are the rules of the game, the economics there, that's where we talk about the inflation and how to truly, what you can do to set yourself up to protect yourself from what's going on. And then of course the money mindset, because we all have these money mindset obstacles that we've set up, that we've created, and we have to do these things to move forward. We have to eliminate those blocks that we don't even see that are there. And then of course the fourth pillar is that support, having that third party objective person to review the tape with you, see the numbers, help you to show up to the practice, to do the things consistently that we need to. So yes, we need to have a plan to increase your income. And if you're like, okay, I'm doing all the things, I know, I hear you, Aimee, I hear what you're saying, but I promise you, I'm actually doing the things. And I just need to increase my income. That is awesome that you're doing all the things. And I want you to have a plan to increase your income. If you don't have that, we're doing an increase your income series coming soon. So make sure that you're subscribed to the show so you can stay up to date. I'm really excited. I'm going to do, I think the first one is coming out in a couple weeks, I believe so. But there's one that I found that I'm going to talk about that like I had never heard of before. Well, let me say this. I didn't realize that I had heard of it before, and it's kind of like a unique way to make money. And it doesn't matter if you got screaming kids in the background and all those things. So have a plan to increase your income if you're doing all the other things. But if we're not doing all the other things, if you can tell me like, look, we budget, I do a month in check-in. I know all these numbers are right. We budget in advance. I've looked at my numbers. We're doing this. We're saving consistently. We're doing these things. We're just not getting ahead because we need to make more income. Okay, let's get you a plan to increase your income. But if you can't look at the numbers and tell me in like 90 seconds what your expenses were last month, what you spent the money on, what income you brought in, because you have that sheet that you can pull up where you tracked it, whether it's electronically, whether it's on pen and paper, wherever it's at. If you can pull those numbers up because you've done the work, then let's talk about your plan to increase your income. But if we're not doing the consistent work that we need to with the income that we already have, making more money is great, but it's not going to be the solution that we're looking for. So with that, we talked about saving money last week on the show for Financial Literacy Week kicking off. I wanted to talk about the other side, making more money, but if we really need to actually make more money to get that adjustment for this month. So your challenge today, send me a message to let me know, did you realize you were doing the work? Or is it something that you're going to work on being consistent and what you're doing to improve your financial literacy this month? We'll see you next week for another episode of the Your Money, Your Life podcast. Bye for now.